So, Fernifer, you're asking people, where were you when you first saw the words, Mikma was here? Well, I think I've got a little bit of a different story than most people about where I was when I first saw those words. And I got to tell you, it's something I'll never forget. I was on vacation at the beach, and I was up in one of the upper floors, looking off of the balcony, and I looked down in the sand below, and I saw the words scrawled in the sand, Mikma was here. Well, I didn't really think a whole lot about it, and on that particular vacation, I had calls to stay in several different motels, high-rise motels in that same city on the beach. So next day I go to a different hotel and stay. Same thing. I look down in the sand below. There it is, scrawled again. Mikma was here. Third day. Same thing. Down in the sand below. Mikma was here. It just seemed like Mikma was everywhere. And by now I'm starting to get curious about it. I'm really starting to get curious about it. So the next day I go to the fourth motel. I look down in the sand from my balcony. Pristine beach. There's nothing on it. Not even a footstep on it. So I get to thinking, well, I wonder why Mikma hasn't been here. And then I also get to thinking, well, Mikma's been to the other motels. I bet you Mikma's coming here to this hotel too. So I figure I'm gonna catch Mikma. So what I do, I get my beach chair, and I go down there to the beach, and kind of off in a little secluded corner. I sit there in the beach chair at night because that seemed to be the time when he was showing up. So yeah, I sit there in my beach chair, determined to stay awake all night long and catch Mikma in the act of coming and writing Mikma was here in the sand. Well, I guess you can figure out what happened. I was just laying there, and I fell asleep. Okay. I didn't sleep till the next day. I just slept. I just fell asleep a couple of hours. And I missed him. It's sort of like missing Santa Claus or something. But anyway, a couple hours later, I wake up, and sure enough, scrawled there in the sand is Mikma was here. Not only that, scrawled across my forehead. Mikma was here, scrawled right here on my forehead. But the thing is, he left some footsteps in the sand. Yeah, footsteps. Not only footsteps. I got to notice, and there was all kind of bottles, just a trail of bottles in the sand. Grape juice bottles. So, there I am, on the trail of Mikma. I've got footsteps in the sand. I've got grape juice bottles. I mean, a blind man could have found Mikma then. So I go, following those footsteps, following all those grape juice bottles, and every one of them is empty. There's not a drop of grape juice in any of them. So eventually, I come upon this beach house. The trail leads right back to this beach house. So I walk up on the porch, and there's a window just right there on the porch. There's a window in this beach house, and I see this rather large individual with his back to me in the window, and there's a computer in front of him. And I walk straight up to this window. I'm just this close to Mikma. I'm on one side of the window. The back of his head is just right on the other side of the window. And he's sort of hunched over this keyboard, looking at his computer monitor. At that time, I really couldn't tell what he was doing. But at about that same time, he got up to walk and started walking towards the refrigerator, still with his head, back of his head toward me. But when he did that, I took a quick look, and I saw on the computer monitor that he was on YouTube. And not only that, the oddest thing, I had heard of YouTube at that time. I wasn't even a member of YouTube at that time, but I had heard of it. And But the oddest thing that struck me was I could see his keyboard. I mean, it was just amazing that here was this keyboard that looked brand new, except for 9 letters. I mean, all the letters were just bold. I mean, they were really plain, just like a brand new keyboard, except for 9 letters. 9 letters. The printing was worn off of 9 letters. There was no printing whatsoever. Just 9 keys were blank. And I think we all know, what keys those were. The keys that the 9 individual keys that would spell Mikma was here. Some of the letters are used twice. That's why, there's more letter. You know what I mean. There's more letters in Mikma was here than 9, but some of them are, used twice. So there we are with 9 letters worn off, and I couldn't figure out, well, what the heck? How come this whole keyboard is brand new looking, except for these 9 letters that are totally worn off? And then I got to looking. Mikma by that time was all the way toward the refrigerator. And that's when I got my second surprise. He opened the door of the refrigerator, and it just blew my mind. I mean, purple. Just a sea of purple was inside that refrigerator. Welch's grape juice. That's all it was there. There wasn't a shred of food in that refrigerator. Not a speck. There must have been 50 bottles of Welch's grape juice in that refrigerator. I mean, 100%. That's all it was there. So he grabs a whole bottle of Welch's grape juice. He didn't even get a glass or anything. He just took a big swig of grape juice straight out of the bottle and turned around. But just before he turned around, I ducked down, where he wouldn't see me. So he comes back over to this computer, sits back down again with his head. His head was, back of his head was toward me, and he hunches over the computer keyboard again. And I would see him move his mouse around a little bit, and then he would pause for I don't know, maybe a minute, and then I would see his fingers just make a movement on the keyboard, and I see him do this. Just, oh goodness, I stood there and watched him for a good 30 minutes, and approximately 30 different times, just the same, and he was making the same exact motions on the keyboard every single time. And of course, it was the same key, using those same 9 keys. I mean, that's all the keys he needed, was just 9 keys on the keyboard. I mean, he could save a lot of money if he could find somebody somewhere where he can buy a keyboard with just 9 keys. Well, he would save a ton of money like that. But anyhow, yeah, he just time after time on the same 9 keys, the M and the I and the K, and so on and so forth. And about that time, I stepped on a loose board, and it made a little creaky sound, and he heard it, and he whirled around and looked at me right in the face, and I, of course, I turned tail and run, and he come out running toward me, but I'm a pretty skinny guy, and I can move pretty fast. When the need arises, I can haul ass. So I mean, Mikma still had his big thing of grape juice, big bottle of Welch's grape juice in his hand, and he was chasing after me. And he gave that grape juice just a mighty throw, and he hit me square in the back with that grape juice. Just purple grape juice splattered everywhere on my white T-shirt. And I actually, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But anyhow, I mean, I could hear him as he faded back into the distance. I could hear him say, "Mikma will find you. Mikma will find you. Mikma will find you." Just over and over, Mikma will find you. And I mean, for a long time, I kind of had nightmares about that. I mean, just every night. I mean, just wake up in the middle of the night with a cold sweat, thinking, "My God, he saw me. He said he was going to find me. Someday he's going to find me." I'm worried. I was just worried about it. So, anyhow, later on, I become a YouTube member, and I start start seeing his name show up on the screen. Mikma was here. And then, at least every 30 minutes I go to a page. Mikma was here. Mikma was here. Well, this is not sitting too well with me. I mean, he said Mikma was going to find me, and then I keep seeing it there. Mikma was here. Mikma was here. Mikma was here. And I start getting less and less and less sleep. I start waking up with more and more and more nightmares. And I'm worried sick that Mikma's going to find me. I mean, Mikma has found all these other people. I mean, just tons of people that Mikma has found. I mean, I wonder what their story is. I wonder if they followed him to that beach house and the same thing happened. I wonder if he maybe loosened that board up on purpose so that he could hear people creak on that board and turn around and know that they were there watching him. But and then eventually I posted this one video, and I'll never forget it. It took a long time. I mean, I was a YouTube member probably for 2 months, and I had eluded Mikma. I mean, I was rather proud of myself. Mikma had found everybody else, but Mikma hadn't found me. No, Mikma hadn't found me. So, yeah, there you go. Wow. I was really proud of myself. I mean, truly, I was. Until I posted this one particular video, and I get an email notification. I click on it. Mikma has left a comment on your video. And I was like, oh my God, Mikma has found me. So I go to the comment there, and yeah. And there it was. Mikma was here. So, yeah, he found me. Thing is, Mikma don't know where I live. He's found me on YouTube. He may have found me on YouTube, and he's never really brought up all this back history that we have together. And until now, he may not really have associated the word, the username Blinkazoid with this little episode that happened on the beach. But I guess it's going to come out now. But he still doesn't know where I live. So Mikma, buddy, yeah, okay, you found me. What are you going to do about it, huh? Tell me. What are you going to do about it? Now that you found me, what are you going to do about it, huh? Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. You found me, but nothing you can do about it. So now I'm sleeping better now. I mean, I was just psyched out. I mean, I already knew that he was never going to actually show up on my doorstep. But yeah, so that's pretty much my Mikma story. And the advantage of this whole thing is I've still got the Welch's grape juice splattered T-shirt that where he threw the bottle and hit me in the back with the Welch's grape juice, and I plan on eventually selling that T-shirt on eBay, and I figure I'll wait, and a few years, and as the Mikma legend grows, that this particular T-shirt will be worth just an untold amount of money, and since if I hadn't put out this particular video, well, nobody would have believed that I had this T-shirt. So this is kind of my way of documenting that I have this Mikma grape juice splattered T-shirt, and it's bona fide. And I'll actually hear someday, Mikma, if you want to. Yeah, I know you're still a little pissed at me for spying on you and all, but money solves everything sometimes. So if you'll agree, I can send you this grape juice splattered T-shirt, and you can sign Mikma was here on it, and then that would really verify it, and that would probably increase the eBay value of it like threefold, and then we'll split the money. Just me and you, we'll split the money right down the middle. So, yeah, so everybody out there, just remember that, he might not have found you yet, but someday, Mikma will find you. Goodbye, everybody.